A child starts crying and you, almost without thinking, hold out a phone. The screen lights up, colors move, sound pours out, and the crying stops. You did that automatically. You didn't decide. Your hand already knew. The screen became a pacifier, a glowing rectangle that switches off tears. But here's the strange part. For 300,000 years, not a single infant on this planet was ever soothed by glass. They were soothed by skin, the warmth of another chest against a cheek, the beat of another heart, slow, steady, a rhythm the body recognized before the eyes could even see, the smell of whoever was holding them. Every single one of your ancestors, without one exception, all the way back to the first, was carried, not put down, carried. So what happens to a creature that gets fed but never gets touched? One scientist decided to test exactly that, literally, and his answer will explain why you can feel alone in a room full of people, why the hundredth like never fills you up, and what we traded the moment we swapped arms for a screen. Picture a baby, now picture the floor. For almost all of human history, those two things never met. A newborn did not lie in a crib in a quiet room. It lived on a body, riding a hip, strapped to a back, pressed to a chest, passed from one warm pair of hands to the next, from the moment the sun came up until long after it went down. This wasn't affection, it was architecture. In the world that built us, no single mother raised a child alone. A baby was nursed, carried, and rocked by sisters, by grandmothers, by aunts, by women who shared no blood with it at all, a whole rotating crew of bodies that anthropologists call alloparents, co-parents, the village made flesh. The infant changed hands dozens of times a day. There was no alone time. There was no separate nursery down the hall. There was no gap, ever, between the child and the next chest. And here is the part we forgot. Touch was not a bonus laid on top of survival. Touch was the survival. Every second on a warm body was a message, repeated without pause, straight into the infant's nervous system. You are held, so you are safe, so you can grow. Milk filled the stomach, but the body filled something deeper, something we didn't even have a name for, which left one strange, dangerous question hanging in the air. If milk is the food, then what exactly is the body for? Nobody could answer it, until one man decided to rip the two apart and see what was left. The year is 1958. A psychologist named Harry Harlow tries to do something no one thought possible. He tries to measure love, so he builds two mothers. The first is made of bare wire, cold, hard, all sharp edges, but bolted to its chest as a bottle, and every drop of milk in the world comes from her. The second is the same skeleton wrapped in soft terry cloth, warm, huggable, and completely empty, not one drop of food. Then he gives a newborn monkey both, and he watches which one it loves. If love is just payment for food, this is easy. The baby should bond with the wire. That's where the milk is. That's where life comes from. It doesn't even come close. The infant spends its entire day welded to the cloth mother, the empty one. It sprints to the wire mother only to feed fast and joyless, like grabbing a snack from a vending machine, and then bolts straight back to the soft body that gives it nothing but warmth. And the moment something terrifying rolls into the cage, a clattering wind-up monster, the baby does not run to its food. It throws its whole body into the cloth, clings on for dear life, and only from that one safe, soft island does it dare to peek back out at the world. Love, it turned out, was never about the milk. And here's the gut punch. Before Harlow, the science said the opposite, out loud in textbooks. A baby's love was called a side effect of feeding, and parents were warned in total seriousness not to spoil children with arms and kisses, to shake their hand instead of hugging them, to keep their distance so the child would grow up strong. The experts holding their charts told an entire generation, do not hold your baby. Now feel this in your own body. The next time everything goes wrong, watch where you reach. Not for the fridge, you reach for a person, to be held. You're choosing the cloth mother. You always have. Then the story turns dark. Harlow had one more question. Not which mother a baby chooses, but what happens when you take both away and leave nothing at all. So he sealed infant monkeys into total isolation. No cloth, no wire, no face, no voice, no living thing. Just smooth walls, food, water, and silence for months. He gave the device a name himself, with no metaphor at all. The pit of despair. What came out the other side was not a monkey anymore. They couldn't speak the language of their own kind. They sat and rocked for hours, arms locked around their own bodies, and performing the exact hug they never received, holding themselves because no one ever had. Many tore at their own skin, and some of them never, ever came back. Picture what that does inside a developing brain. The internal alarm bell gets switched on early and then it jams. It rings and rings and rings, and the brain never learns where the off switch is. A body flooded with the chemistry of fear, with no memory of what calm even feels like. And here's why this should make the back of your neck cold. It happened to human babies too. A doctor named Renee Spitz walked into orphanages that were, on paper, Perfect. Spotless floors, warm rooms, full bottles, clean sheets, everything a body needs, everything is except hands. Too many babies, too few arms, and no one with a spare minute to hold them. And in that flawless, sterile, well-fed silence, the children began to wilt like flowers locked away from the sun. They stopped growing. They went quiet. They turned their faces to the wall, and some of them, surrounded by everything but touch, simply faded out of the world. So here is the message your ancestors wrote into you, and it's still running right now. Your nervous system measures safety through a warm body nearby, not through a follower count, not through a little blue check mark. That ancient alarm is wired into you this second. It just isn't getting the one signal it was built to listen for. So let's talk about you. Honestly, your phone is full of names, your chats never sleep, the feed scrolls forever, the likes keep landing, and still, in the middle of all of it, there's this flat, quiet emptiness, like standing in a room loud with voices while no one in it is holding you. And you've decided that emptiness means something is broken in you. It doesn't. Nothing is broken in you. That feeling is a 300,000-year-old system working flawlessly, scanning the room for a warm body, for presence, for the soft mother, and reporting back honestly that it can't find one. The emptiness isn't a glitch. It's a smoke detector doing its job in a house full of smoke. The detector is perfect. The problem is the world we built around it, a world that quietly took the bodies away and left the screens on, and now turned the whole thing inside out. We think modern life is the normal one, the baby alone in its own room for independence. The screen handed over to stop the crying, the friendships lived through glass, the hugs sent as little yellow faces, the whole day spent inches from other humans and touching none of them. We call that normal, but measured against everything that made us human, it isn't the baseline, it's the deviation. You are not the malfunction. The conditions are. Your loneliness was never your weakness. It's the wire mother, handed to you in place of the cloth one, a bottomless feed of attention from a cold metal frame, likes, pings, endless noise, all the milk in the world pouring out of something with no softness in it at all. We built a world where you can get all the milk and not a single embrace. Remember that infant, hungry, terrified, clinging not to food but to a piece of empty cloth, because for it, softness mattered more than being fed. Because the body that holds you is needed more than the body that feeds you. And now remember yourself, at night, how you, an adult, fed with everything you need, pull a pillow toward you in your sleep and hold it, clutching something soft and empty. You are doing exactly the same thing.